Action Video Productions. This video deposition is taking place at 2525 Ponce de Leon Boulevard, Coral Gables, Florida. Counsel, please voice identify yourselves and state whom you represent.
My name is Dana Gallup of Gallup Law. I represent the plaintiff, who is to my left, off camera, William Ray.
Fred Moldovan. I represent Captain Marie Kent in this deposition.
My name is Allison Smith. I'm counsel for the City of Homestead with the law firm of Weiss Sorota Health.
Can the court reporter please announce their name and agency for the record and swear in the witness?
My name is Veronica Morales, and I'm with Verbatim Services. Would you please raise your left hand and state your name for the record?
Marie, M-A-R-I-E, Kent, K-E-N-T.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will provide today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please begin.
I just want to put one thing on the record before Mr. Gallup begins questioning my client, that I was retained yesterday in this particular case. I asked to reset this deposition. We tried, Mr. Gallup tried to accommodate us. Dates were not available until sometime next year, so Mr. Gallup asked that we take the deposition today. However, based upon the late representation, I have been unable to properly prepare my client for this deposition and review the documents that I deem necessary to sit down with my client. Furthermore, she has previously given a deposition, not in this case, but in another case that's relevant to this. So based upon that, I've discussed with my client the potential answers to many of the questions that she will be taking the 5th, which I believe Mr. Gallup is aware of.
Okay. Thank you, and as you indicated, I think accurately, we had noticed the deposition prior to your involvement. Of course, it was postponed once at the request of the city, rescheduled, and to this date, and unfortunately there do not seem to be available dates for a number of weeks after this, and so we did elect to move forward today. But I appreciate and understand what you've indicated there, and I do have had some forewarning not only from you but from the city's attorney in motions that they had filed that were denied by the court, but in any event indicating that Captain Kent would or may invoke her Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Just so you know, because it may well be the case that some of this transcript ends up in front of the judge, and you were not present when the judge gave his ruling on the motion for protective order. He indicated quite clearly to us, us being the city's attorney, Allison Smith was there, and myself, a few things that I think should be borne in mind today so that there's no misunderstanding, at least from what the judge has instructed. Because I don't think it actually was all put on the order, but it was certainly conveyed.
Yeah, it wasn't put on the order. I have discussed that with Mr. Moldovan as well.
Well, and I'll just, but that's fine. And I'll just briefly put on the record, and certainly let me know if I'm inaccurately stating this, and I'm sure the judge will at some point if I am as well. But he said and indicated that the fact of the possible assertion of the Fifth Amendment doesn't preclude the deposition at whole, number one. Number two, there cannot be or should not be a blanket objection based upon the Fifth Amendment, and he tasked me, if you will, or instructed me rather clearly that to preserve the record, I needed to go through the exercise of asking each and every question that I would otherwise ask, even if the answer to many or all of those questions were to invoke the Fifth Amendment. And so that's what I intend to do. He also did indicate to both of us that there should be, or may be, I guess, areas of inquiry that do not implicate any self-incrimination or reasonable expectation of self-incrimination. And so, again, there should be, those questions should be answered, and of course, if there's, we can discuss that as it goes. If there's a need, obviously I'll try to resolve that with you today if we can.
Sure.
And, you know, to the extent we disagree, that's what the judge is there for, to ultimately determine whether the invocation was appropriate or not. And that's, I think, pretty much what he said, correct?
Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly. Just to clarify, just for the opponent's sake as well, when you said a blanket assertion, sort of just not, I plead the fifth to every question that you're going to ask before you ask it. That's what he was saying as far as
Exactly.
he has to ask.
Right, exactly. It would be, in other words, incorrect for me to say, may I assume, Captain Kent, that you're going to exert the Fifth Amendment privilege to every possible question I may ask you today. And I think it would be similarly improper for you to say, no matter what you ask me today, I'm going to say that. We unfortunately have to go through this, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but the law requires us to go through this exercise to determine which questions the privilege was and was not perhaps appropriately asserted.
And the only reason that at this point, well, there's two reasons that I believe Captain Kent is going to assert the Fifth on many of these questions. Is twofold. One, lack of preparation on my part, being retained at a late date, and part of that reason is she had a relative who had a leg amputated and was unable to come to my office before. And two, it should be noted that Captain Kent denies any wrongdoing of any manner, but based upon a possible criminal investigation that is lurking up there, that would be my advice to her.
Understood. Okay.